Welcome back, folks. So new patch, new hidden vehicles, and therefore let's do a quick preview because that's what we usually do. So first off, it is the return of the Aufkl.PZ.V, the Aufkl.Panther, because people had it, people liked it, Wargaming took it away, and returning it with the HD remodel 2 years later, and selling it as a premium tier 8. For money! Or better yet, for nostalgia money! The best money for cash grabbing. Oh god. Jesus, it's not the first time, it's not going to be the last. They did it for the Lorraine 40T, from a tier 9 into a premium tier 8. They did it for the KV1S, into the KV122. Don't get me started on that piece of crap. Also, they're going to do it for the Caernarvon with the Action X turret, because that's somehow nostalgia. Nobody actually liked that. Oh well, so I'm betting money that they're going to return the T50-2 with the HD remodel as a premium tier 6. Mark my words, they're going to do that, because nostalgia money, best money for cash grabbing. So for the Aufkl.Panther, it looks a little different. This looks like a Panzer IV's turret, not the VK1602's turret, the small Leopard at tier 5. So originally with the Aufkl.Panther, when you see it, it looks like a Panther chassis running around with a very small turret, and that was it. But now it looks like the Panzer V/4, the premium tier 5 medium tank with the Panther chassis and the Panzer IV's turret. So it kinda looks like that premium vehicle. Actually looks a lot like it, but doesn't have the cage applique armor on the turret. So this doesn't really look like the original Aufkl.Panther. So original Aufkl.Panther has a very small turret and basically looks like a Panther chassis running around, and that was it. Also, it had like a 105mm howitzer, which was trollish. So this vehicle is basically a Panther chassis with a lot of engine power running around to scout. So basically ramming light tanks or other artilleries. Yeah. Alright, so it does look like a lot like the Panzer V/4, but I don't know, nostalgia value, I guess, for money. So yeah, visually it looks very pleasing. I mean, all the HD remodel, all the good stuff. It seems like it has ran over some sort of fence or some sort of rope ladder, but it's not like a long rope ladder, so I don't know, maybe for kiddie rides for little kids. Maybe, I don't know, but weird stuff to put on the vehicle. It looks like teeth also. Ugh. So yeah, alright, but I'm going to do the leak videos for all these hidden vehicles very soon. So this is just a preview video, but yep, preview all the stats. You can take a quick pause of the video and take a look at the stats, but it has pretty decent DPM, very fast aim time, dispersion, gun depression, elevation, turret traverse is fast, reloads pretty quickly for the DPM, but doesn't punch as hard, so it's a 75mm. What's interesting is, this thing fires APCR. I took a look at the actual stats, but it actually fires APCR as standard ammo. There's no gold ammo. So, what? It just fires gold shell all the time. The average penetration of a tier 8 light tank is currently 175 or so. So basically, with this vehicle, you're paying to win or paying to play all the gold shell. That's what I noticed. Alright, and it's not the VK1602's turret, so it's a little different, I guess. But the Panther chassis, so 85mm at the front, 50 at the sides. Turret armor is like a Panzer IV's, or yeah, Panzer IV's turret, about 50mm at the front. Mobility wise, yeah, about 30 horsepower per ton ratio. Originally it had like 23 or so, but it should feel little bit faster than before. Top speed of 60 km per hour, reverse of 22, ultraverse pretty fast. Has a lot of engine power and weighs about 40 tons, so go ram other light tanks, or artillery, or maybe even medium tanks. I wouldn't recommend it, but camouflage rating, it's not great. For a light tank, it's basically a medium, driving around, obviously, so View range, 400 meters, so that's pretty good. So basically with this vehicle, you're driving around a Panther with gold shell all the time, and pretty good view range, but at the cost of health and armor, and that's pretty much it. Alright. Cash grab, the best kind, or nostalgia cash grab, ugh. And speaking of nostalgia cash grab, here we have the Action X Caernarvon. Well, it's not exactly nostalgia because people didn't really like the pre-buff version of the Caernarvon with the Action X turret. So now it has applicant armor, as well as a gun sleeve for the turret and the gun. I mean, it is welcoming because we don't have a high tier British heavy tank crew trainer, but yeah, it's the old Caernarvon with a remodeled gun shield from the Conqueror and the Super Conqueror, and basically that's it. So yeah, it's not like I want to play the TOG 2 all the time, or the FV221, the A45. That thing is basically a Faturian. It's the original Faturian without the buff armor. But, I mean, this thing is like the Caernarvon, I guess. It's just, alright. Talking about cash grab, I mean, it's nostalgia. It's not exactly nostalgia too, but, oh well. There's no high tier British heavy tank crew trainer, so I guess that's welcoming. But this thing, surprisingly, is a lot better than the original Action X Caernarvon, because they buffed the DPM to 2,500, so it's still practically just as good as the normal Caernarvon now, but doesn't have the 32 pounder, it has the 20 pounder, so doesn't have the crazy super turret, the Centurion super turret, that's historically incorrect, but it has the beefed up Action X turret. So I don't know anymore. But here's a quick look at the stats. So yeah, basically 2,500 DPM. Oh my god, premium tanks now are super broken. Jesus Christ. Alright, accuracy, pretty good as well. Aim time, not bad. Gun depression, gun elevation, also pretty good. Turret traverse, pretty fast for a heavy tank. Reloads pretty quickly. It's a 20 pounder. Type B barrel, was it the Type A barrel for the original Caernarvon before the Action X switch? I don't remember, but oh, it's only the Type A for the Centurions, Type B for the Caernarvon. Oh well, but yeah, 2,500 DPM. It has the buff armor for the hull and the turret front, so yeah, this thing could gun depress and haul down, but you do have a weak spot, and that's the Commander Cupola, so it's justified. As a premium tank, it has a weak spot. So the original Caernarvon, the new Caernarvon, with the new turret, doesn't really have a weak spot, technically, so bleh. Mobility wise, still pretty good horsepower per ton ratio, and I'll cover all the stats with terrain resistance, the dispersion later on, but quick preview, but still pretty good horsepower per ton ratio, pretty good top speed, 36, that's not bad. Hull traverse, not bad, 30 degrees per second, weighs a lot too. Concealment, it's a heavy tank, so whatever. View range, 380, not bad too. For tier 8, that's alright. So, nostalgia cash grab, that's actually pretty good vehicle for crew training. And technically, it's the buff version of the Action X Caernarvon, so I can't really complain, but why does it have 2,500 DPM? I mean, why does all tier 8s now have like crazy DPM, like the Caernarvon with like 2,600, 2,800, 2,000. Well, I don't remember that thing, but fucking 32 pounder goes right up the ass. 2,800 DPM, just crazy, and it has penetration too. All right, I mean it's a premium tank, so you make more credits, make more crew XP. The bar is so high now for premium vehicles, just insane. And finally, we have the ELC EVEN. So this is going to be a premium tier 8 French light tank. It is one of the smallest vehicles ever introduced into World of Tanks. It's about the same size as a Volkswagen Beetle. So here are some screenshots of this vehicle in comparison to other vehicles. So yeah, it is very small, but how are you going to hit this vehicle with a large caliber gun? But then again, it's French, so if you do hit it, it's mostly dead. But it is pretty small. It is somewhat agile, but the camo rating on this vehicle, it's superb. So trying to spot this thing, it's pretty hard, but yeah, they have artificially inflated the crew member from 2 to 3 because it's going to be a premium tank, so it's required to be a crew trainer, but you can't exactly train 2 crew members, right? You have to train 3. Well, this vehicle couldn't hold 3 people and a 90mm shell, like ammo racks and whatnot. Alright, fine, whatever. Historical accuracy is not World of Tanks forte, alright? It never happened. So, as you can see, it looks pretty funky of a design. And, yeah, it looks like an oscillating turret, but there is rubber covering the turret ring, and it's supposed to bend up and down. And there's no armor on this vehicle. It cannot protect itself against even machine gun fire, so yeah, interesting, but it looks like a RoboCop or Wall-E. It is Wall-E, the French Wall-E. Ugh. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's a lot more interesting than the Caernarvon Action X or the return of the Aufkl.PZ.V, but it is a very small vehicle. This is the zoom in. This is the maximum zoom in I have, so I cannot go in even more, but yeah, they artificially inflated the number of crew members. Oh well. But it is a 90mm gun with average penetration, 175, and 220 alpha. Whatever. But the DPM of this vehicle got nerfed from 1600 to 1300. Accuracy is 0.36, autoloader, so aim time is a little bit long, but whatever. Takes about 25 seconds to load, has intermediate shell reload of 2.3 seconds, it has only 3 rounds. Alright. Gun depression is 9 degrees. Surprisingly, elevation 13. Elevation sucks, but gun depression not bad. Turns pretty quickly. And yeah, it is a light tank, but it has no armor whatsoever, so just don't hit this thing. But there's no weight on this vehicle, is there? Or it is, about 6.7 tons. There are cars that weigh a lot more than this vehicle. Has a 160 horsepower engine. Horsepower per ton ratio is not bad, about 24, but it's not crazy, like 30 or 40, but top speed pretty high, 70 kilometers per hour, 20 reverse, ultraverse pretty good as well. It weighs about 7 tons. It has very good camouflage rating, so we'll see the actual full stats with the leak video, but yada yada. View range, it would be a lot better if it's 400 or 390, but why 380? I don't know. So you could probably put coated optics, mostly. Nah, I would put binoculars and camouflage net because the mobility is not as great for active scouting light tank like the LTTB, and this thing has no armor. if you get hit by any shells, you're practically dead. It has no health. It's a French vehicle, obviously, and high explosive rounds just wreck this thing. So I would put binoculars and camouflage net and put this vehicle into passive scouting positions. So yeah, that's the biggest size. It's a very small vehicle. It's very hard to detect, but you already saw with the size comparison. How are you going to spot this thing? So I don't know, there are trade-offs, but it is very interesting. I mean, it's not like a rehash vehicle, so I guess it's fine. But as with all the light tanks introduced at Tier 8 as a premium, we have two vehicles currently being rebalanced. So the other light tank is the T92, which has been rebalanced from Tier 7 into Tier 8. So what the hell is the T92? Oh, there it is. But they have changed the stats from Tier 7 to Tier 8 now. So we'll talk about this vehicle, but it's been in the game files for like a year now. So I thought it was going to be the Grand Finals vehicle for this year, but it's the Chrysler K. Alright. And next up we have the Samoa SM, which has been buffed in terms of DPM a lot, but they nerfed the mobility slightly and increased the armor. So they're going to sell this vehicle with the new French conventional heavy tanks because money, obviously. But yeah, there you go, folks. The 3 new vehicles added in this patch. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.